Honestly, when you ask God for something, He comes through. Hi guys. Hi everyone. Hi, how are we doing? Hi everyone. Welcome to God Conversations, episode 1515. Whoop, 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 whoop. Right? Okay, I think I'm the only one who's excited. You guys, I think First Lab is you're muted. But it's great to be here. It's great to be with you guys again. As you know, here in God Conversations, we're all about building a community of believers who are super attuned to God. Our goal is to bring you conversations that show you and teach you how to keep God at the center of everything you do. So the goal is God center, God left, God right, God front, God behind, right? God all around. We're all about finding God in the everyday, the real talk, real faith, real life, and just embracing all that God has for us. So we're happy to have you here on episode 15. And today we have some amazing people joining us. I mean, some repeat faces that we know, and I love them both. And then somebody who's close to my heart who's joining us again. But I will leave that to you, PG, to do the introductions. But yeah, happy to have us here. How are we? And how are we doing?
Woo! It's been a busy week. My goodness, I had to minister this weekend. It was amazing,
Mhm.
amazing. I mean, listen, there's some people that have stories that you're like, how? But then you see the way that they're thriving. And it's like the
Mhm.
devil is a bastard, right? Is this
Mhm.
what you try to kill? So we have again two amazing people very close to our hearts,
Mhm.
right? We're all about loving people, but these two are really, really we love them. I mean, it's not mouth. We love you guys. We love you, and you know it, right? So I want to let it's Yinka. Yinka, it's the first time Yinka is coming. An amazing guy. Listen, to know you guys to love Yinka. And then
Yes.
Ananike, our sister, our friend, our I don't know, sister from another mother. Yeah, she has to show up. The love thing. I want to figure out how to do it on our end. But anyway, she's trying to be selfish and not show us. Okay. So I'm gonna have both of you introduce yourself for a minute or so because we have so much to talk about today. So Yinka, you go first.
I don't know, ladies first.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Anna Nike Panky Gordon. I'm so excited to be here. The topic is just amazing. Peggy, Gladys, Yinka, all wonderful people. It's just an honor to be here to share what friendship is all about. You know, I'm just happy to be here. That's all I have to say.
All
Mm.
right.
Mm, 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 mm.
All right.
Okay.
So my name is Yinka. I'm on the worship team with these two on the top over there.
Yeah.
And I have a love and passion for God and God's word. Like I
Yeah.
really love the word of God. Like anything someone tells me, I always say, "What? How does this align with the word?" You know
Right.
what I mean? Like anyone gives clever advice or counsel, I
Mhm.
always say, "Hey, how does this fit in?" Oh, manifestation. Is that a line in the Bible? Let me see what you know what I mean.
And he does do that.
Yeah, it does, but the devil always tries to copy things of the kingdom. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
When you
Yeah.
see when you're talking to Yinka, you see Yinka's eye go up.
That's because he's thinking, trying to connect dots and everything.
He
But
just makes me say, ooh, wait. Where's God in all of these things you're telling me?
I wanted to also emphasize, I think one thing we do on God Conversations that we bring people, and most times we don't dwell on who they are outside of church. The offices they occupy outside of church, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not going to expose you to all of that, but it's just to let us know, like let our community members know that when we bring people here, they're not just people who are just, people who serve in church, but people who are making impact in their different marketplace.
Please.
Like these two people, I think the people we've been bringing, however, are people who are making strong impact. They're not just little, but strong impact, impacting the lives of people, impacting the lives of companies, impacting the lives of communities. So we don't just bring people because they are our friends. Yes, there is that connection, we serve together, but we bring them because of the honor, right? Because of that, how we esteem them, not just as friends, as brothers and sisters who we serve together with, but also because of the impact they are making as children of God. Is it on or in the world? Both of them. We added. I was just asking them which is on and in this evening. So yeah, English is trying to disgrace me
In
today, but
the
tomorrow
world.
in the world. So
Yeah.
so we're happy to have you here, Yinka and Anike.
Yeah.
I call
So
her
we also
cause. So you're going
believe
to
that,
hear me
yeah.
you're going
Sorry.
to hear me refer to her as cuz,
Mhm.
right? Because sometimes I'm like, by the time I finish pronouncing her name, I've forgotten what I want to say. So I would just call her cuz.
Mhm.
And you guys love that you are here. I can't wait for Pastor Gladys to kind of take us through the conversation we'll be having today.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
hearing
I
your
think
voices.
also we bring people that we know they have something to give,
Mm,
right? They're not just there's substance in what they're bringing, what they're going to say. And another reason for this podcast really is we talk about how you flourish as a Christian and living the authentic Christian life. Like we're not about the Christianese. How are you? I'm fine, but it's not really fine. Like what you're not fine. What is going
mm,
on? How can you help? What can we do to help you walk? Do we need to pray? Do we need to take action in some places? So it's like common sense Christian living, if I could say that. So for the past for the past month, we've been talking kingdom friendship. So I want to do like a quick recap. So in the first episode we had it was Anike and we had Precious, my amazing daughter, right? I have many of them. She's one of my daughters, and we came and we talked about friendships, the difference between circular friendships and kingdom friendships. What are the benefits of it? And then the next week, the next episode, I think that was episode 13. Then episode 14, we wanted a guy's perspective. So we brought Kunle, who did an amazing job of, explaining kingdom friendships from a man's perspective. And one of the things I remember him saying was, men are not mushy, right? Like women, women are the ones saying, oh, what's going on with you? Men are not like that. And it talked about how he's intentionally seeking out people. Like you just notice there may be something wrong, and they will not really come out and say unless you go to them, like almost like you draw them out of their shell,
yeah.
and thereby they're able to show their vulnerable self, and you can then come in. And he talked about how he's helped, and this is something, a trait that he even saw his father do, because we were comparing between men and women about how we women are more intentional. For me, for example, if I see someone, I think if God, and I think over the years, God, the Holy Spirit would highlight someone to me, and what
Mhm.
happens is I may walk with them through something, maybe for a few weeks, sometimes for a few months. But I have some that have been in my life for years, right? So there's different categories. And then I really can't summarize everything, but if you missed episodes 13 and 14, after this episode 15, you need to go binge watch because there's so many nuggets in there. I remember one of the things is where I was telling Ananike and Precious that sometimes we women think that just because I was this thing for you, I was this way for you in a certain season, then I have to repay it.
Mhm.
That is like you want to go through that same thing so that you do the exact, but that God doesn't work that way. God does
Yeah.
not work that way. At least from my experience, it doesn't work that way. So if you missed, those episodes, is also an opportunity for you to subscribe. Okay, help
Mhm.
us grow. Share with your friends. Share with people who need to hear it. Share with people who need to. I wouldn't say they are struggling, but their walk, like, they need to be walking authentic. Again, Christian,
Yeah.
common sense Christian. It's not everything you see on social media that you follow. You should not be following trends, right?
Hmm.
Just the word is your standard. Take the word, apply the word to your life, right? And so today we're gonna start out, like, I want to actually, from another guy's perspective. So Yinka, what is kingdom friendship to you? What does it mean to you?
So to me, a kingdom friendship would be um, a friendship that you have with someone under the umbrella of, you know, being a Christian. So
Okay.
it's more of a, I would say, a pure friendship. So like you could have secular friendships, you have friendships out of sorry, I heard something with the sound. You could have secular friendships, but then there are parts of those relationships that you keep guarded. So you're not free to express your true self
To them.
because of certain lifestyles. For example, you might have a friend from work that likes to go to a happy hour and drink. That may not be your thing because it doesn't align with your lifestyle as a Christian.
Right.
So you don't have that full friendship with that person because you guys don't have full similar interests. You might have some interests, like you may like basketball, you might like doing other things, but then you don't have that full, complete friendship. So I think a kingdom friendship is a more complete friendship with a Christian.
So, so the only difference with the circular friendship is, okay, you're not praying together, you're not. But I think there are some friendships, even though they're secular, that you can be vulnerable with,
Yeah, definitely,
right?
definitely.
You can be vulnerable with. My boss, for example, everyone know on my team knows that I don't drink. But
Hmm.
things, when we do some events, like at work, that require, okay, we have to step out of the office, and I know they're going to serve alcohol. My boss is the first person that says Gladys does not drink. Get her a Coke. And I've been working with her since, I don't know, 2013, 2016. But there's a level of friendship there because there's, things there. So now, today, we're talking about honor and kingdom friendship. Before we came online, I was saying that I was thinking today that when we talk honor, I would always think honor when I think that scripture, honor your father and your mother so that your days may be long. But when we come into the concept of kingdom friendships, what does that mean? Because the friendships, there are some people that are older than you, and there are some people that are younger than you, and there are some people that are your age groups. So, in the concept of that, what is honor? Honor. What does it mean to honor someone?
Is that a question for any of us?
Anyone can jump on it.
So, what I want to say in regards to that is being devoted to one another in love. True friendship, the foundation is going to be built off of love,
Mhm.
respect. And this is
Mhm.
when that honor comes in. When I am able to not just be a friend when times are happy, but remember, a true friend brings comfort, right? Galatians 6:2 talks about those who, despite harsh winds of adversity, faithful remain by your side to offer comfort. Those are true friends. So all of that. I honor you on your lows. I honor you on your highs. I honor you on your wins. I believe that when I win, you win. When you win, I win. Right. So if you're missing, then I'm missing. So
Mm,
that honor begins to talk about what the true like agape love.
right. So is honor the same as respect?
It's not that it is, but they do go hand in hand with each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So from I agree with yeah, Ananika. I think to honor someone is to um, respect the person, to reverence the person. So the Bible says, "Give honor honor to whom honor is due," and it doesn't always have to be someone that's a pastor or someone who's your um, your father or your parent. You know, you could also honor your friends based on the simple fact that the person is a child of God. The person is worthy of being uh, not praised, but worthy of being reverenced because that's a child of God. That's someone that was created in God's image. So you have to kind of reverence people, and when you honor people, they reciprocate. I think, hopefully, they should. But yeah, I think it's respect.
Because Yinka was saying some things. So because I don't want anybody to start blowing up inside of the chat, and he said,
Yeah.
so what is honor? When I took my time, I said, let me just like look it up right quick. It means great respect. It's
Okay.
almost like I value you.
Mhm.
I
Mm,
value you.
yep.
So you
Right.
value one another. And so, no, he's not saying that he's going around. He's not saying anything outside of that. So please make sure y'all don't blow up the chat that kind of way. But
Yeah.
he's talking great value.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yes.
so here's my
I
thing,
think.
right?
I
Here's
think.
my
Sorry.
you can hear me.
Go. I don't want to go. Or should I go? Um,
You go.
the beautiful thing about this conversation we're having is it actually makes you pause and think to really understand what does honoring friendship means.
Mhm.
And while I was just listening to all of it, say respect, and Anika said something, value. Honor comes with value. I think for me, so
Mhm.
I'm going to, from my perspective, when we talked about this topic, it wasn't just a line, it was so much, so big that honor for me is the value that you see in your friends and then the value you place on it,
Mhm.
Mm,
Yes.
the
I like that.
respect
Yeah.
that comes from it, that comes from the value you have for them. Because when we talk about, and I don't know if people actually think about honor, what's the word? Honor when they think about
Mhm.
friendship. We think about honor when we think about our pastors. We think about honor when we think about our people who
Exactly.
are there
Right.
for us.
Exactly.
Maybe they occupy one office or the other. But
Mhm.
when it's your friend and you're on, and you're like, do you honor your friends? So you're like,
Mhm.
I respect my friend, but is that
Because
all?
there's a level of familiarity.
Right.
The see finish.
You get, and I remember having that conversation with myself, PG, and Inka in the car. And I just asked that question. And both of them was like, it can't be the only topic you want to talk about. And I
Yeah, but
smiled
as it is.
because honor in friendship, when we think about it, placing value on something comes with so many attachments, come with so many insights, come with so many retrospective of what that person or what that thing means to you, right? And then when you now eventually get that understanding, that's the honor you place on it. That's the respect you place on that stuff. So I want us to, as we have this conversation, look at it through that lens of our friendships that we currently have, because I don't want us to come with a theoretical mindset.
Yeah.
Oh, no, here talk about applicability of it. Are we doing it? Are we
Right.
going to do it? So I just wanted to bring us back because sometimes I'm just like, people, I know, don't tell me, oh, it should be this. It is
Can you
what I am doing. This is what it
give an
means to me.
example?
This is how I apply it. Yes, okay.
So let me give an example. Fumi Johnson, she's my friend, my little sister. She's I'm also friends with Nife, her friend, but Nife and her are much closer. And she says, I want to do something for Nife. She's getting married. And I want you to do it. I want you to do the decor. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So she picked the weekend that what? I'm gonna be in Texas. I'm at Woman Evolve conference, right? So I'm like, okay, I made the centerpieces before I left. Yesterday, I flew in from Texas and I got here. I flew in from Philadelphia, came to Philadelphia. I had to now take a Greyhound bus to Newark, take a Uber to Bloomfield to now make sure that everything is set up beautifully.
And it was.
And I could have said something like, oh, you know, I'm going to be doing this and made it about me.
Right.
But I didn't make it about me. I made it about my friend, being there for my friend. And so this is an example of how I said, I have to be there for my friend. It's the same way where you said, let's not just talk about honor, but how are we doing it? How are we applying it? These different ways. And
Right.
like Peggy bought me a bubble bath last year. Like I still have that bubble bath. I won't let anybody buy it. So maybe Peggy's gonna buy me more. But I value that. I appreciate that. Right. When I came out of the hospital, Gladys came over. She gave me a shower. She was really hitting me really hard in the shower. Just want to let y'all know.
Oh my God.
But
oh my God. I'm never gonna leave that down. Never gonna let me get away. I did not know that you were fragile. Okay.
Oh wait. Let's clear that up. So explain what do you mean by what do you mean
She
by
couldn't
hitting?
do anything. She had surgery. She couldn't do anything.
I had surgery. I couldn't stand up. I was like the woman who was bent. I couldn't stand.
Right.
And she came and she took care of me. Even though she worked, she had to go to Bible study. I don't know if she was teaching a Bible study. She stopped her life to come make sure that I was good.
And that's what actually solidified our friendship.
Because she's seen my body.
Oh.
You guys are horrible.
Okay.
It's not me this time. I listen. It's not me this time. It's her. See how I'm
The holy water.
controlling myself. I'm controlling myself.
But in truth, yeah.
To piggyback on what she did, what she said. Okay, so now Fumi is also a close person to me, and we were honoring Nife because Nife again is another person of beautiful soul,
Beautiful
that deserved what we gave her yesterday. It was honor, as in, my God, this girl was crying. She's tough. She's a tough one. And so when she came and she saw this, it was just honor, and it was the people in the room were the people that were supposed to be in the room. But I think what for me is that the way Ananike did the honoring, it's little things. It was real China. Real China plates. She broke out her glasses. Very exquisite, very honoring, very demure. What do you say?
Yeah,
but that was, you see,
no, it was there. There was intentionality in it. It wasn't rushed. There was intentionality. I could see that this was honor on display.
Yeah. So I I have a question, and I'm looking at how to segue just where what Pastor Gladys has just said about what Nika's friends and loved ones did for her out of honor. But let's talk about that value that friends bring to the table. I know that earlier.
You bring to the table, or
The
that
friendship, the friendship as a whole, that value and why we need to honor it. So my question to us is, I think I've spoken what honor means to me. We've all kind of talked about what honoring kingdom friendship means to us. But the question still remains, why do we need to honor our kingdom friendship?
I think it's just
And
a
I don't think that the women, I think we've been loud, and Yinka has just been smiling in the background. So I like, hi, blessed are ye amongst women. God bless you. So Yinka, I kind of want you to kind of conversation to
Mhm.
say, why is it important we honor our kingdom friendships?
I think sometimes we over spiritualize things, but at the end of the day, people are human.
Mhm.
Um, People get offended, people get sensitive about things. I remember there was a sister who was in a particular group and had her birthday, and no one reached out to her to say happy birthday. Not that the people in the group did not care about her. It's just, life sometimes be lifing. You forget.
make sure you don't
And
forget me next year.
oh no, we won't forget you.
How can we
And,
forget?
and she felt some type of way about that, and it took her some time, and she expressed that, hey, um, other people said happy birthday to me. I felt like, knowing you guys for a long time, and it just made. I mean, I'm in that group, so yeah, the cat's out the bag. But it made me
Yeah, I
feel.
said happy birthday to you, and it wasn't your birthday.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was a sister. But people are human, and words of affirmation actually matter. When you honor someone, it makes the person, it encourages the person to continue doing what they're doing. It's not that they're doing things to be noticed. It's not that they're doing things to get glory from it. But once in a while, saying, "Hey, I appreciate you." It does a lot. I remember, was it Haman in the Bible that said he did something? He saved the king's life, and no one recognized him for it. The king, there was an assassination plot to kill the king,
Yeah,
and they said he opened it was like the book of remembrance. Hey, what did we ever do
for
this person? And then God honored him. They put him on a horse, took him around, and that was written in the Bible. Till today, we know about that story because someone was honored. So I think it goes a long way. We shouldn't always say, "Oh well, um, someone is seeking glory or whatnot," but people are people.
right.
You know what? I this morning, excuse me, I went to the audio visual team at church, and I was like, you know what? I went away. I was in Texas, and you know what? They even had some audio visual issues. Some of the things that we had. So I value you all. You all do a good and amazing jobs making sure those mics are unmuted. And so another thing that I want to say, since I have most of the worship team here, I also value the worship team. I wanted to
Oh,
tell you all that
okay.
the reason why is because when I was at this conference, most of all of the songs that were sung were ones that we sing. So first of all, we up to date. Hello, somebody.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I knew the songs when people were needing to read the words. I was like,
You
yes,
already
I
knew.
was singing those songs. And whatever song was new, I was like, let me get that
You
song.
gotta do it. Yeah. And she's texting me stuff. Mm, okay. But honestly, I think, yeah. But so people will be people, yeah, because somebody else would just gloss over that. Like, it's just a birthday. I don't care. But for someone else, it's important to them, right?
Hmm.
So that's why I think sometimes, and honestly, until Peggy really said that, I never paid attention to it. To like, am I do I honor my friendships? Do I really honor them? I guess I think I do. I just didn't put it as honor. Like I was speaking to one of my closest friends last week, and she said, I got jealously over you, so nothing. I'm not going to let anything anything touch you, right? So I think that's a part of her way of honoring that friendship. She will not
Yeah.
let anything hurt me. She will not let me make any mistakes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think also in when you share you're able to share your vulnerability with someone, right? It's with trust that I'm being vulnerable to you now. I'm not going to be hearing my stuff as a prayer point. It's
Mm.
going to land on a prayer point.
Prayer point.
It
I love
should,
that.
right? So trust is part of um and when you talk about when Peggy was talking about the value, right, that you give, it comes with a trust, like a level of trust for that honor to come. Because if I don't trust
Mm.
you, I don't know, I can't honor you. I don't know if I'm making
Mm.
sense.
No, because a friendship won't
Yeah.
work. Because friendships have to be, trust is very essential. And this is how we talked about having honesty, transparency, vulnerability.
Right.
Wow, all of those T words, right?
Right.
That's honesty, vulnerability, all of those things like that. And once somebody betrays your trust, it will take
That's
time
it.
for healing and all of those different things to take
Right.
place. So
I,
being honest,
yeah, and I think like going back to people being people, you just never know people's background. You just never know what people are going through. There's
Yeah.
some people who maybe at work that other people taking credit for their project. You just never know. And some people may not speak up, and
Mhm.
then you have other people who maybe the family structure. They had like maybe 7 kids. They were just never recognized or anything like that. So it goes a long way. And then speaking about trust, um, I remember years ago, I was in a relationship, and the trust in the relationship was betrayed,
Mhm.
and it took me a while to trust any other female. I just couldn't trust anyone.
Wow.
Um,
look at God.
yeah, and so you just never know, and it just takes someone to say something to you
Mhm.
or value you or just show that you're worthy of something. Like my
Absolutely.
wife,
Was.
when I was going out with my wife at the time, back in the day, I had a big phobia about driving. I was just scared to death about driving. So um, I started taking driving lessons. My dad never taught us how to drive because his brother died driving.
Oh,
So he just was something he never did. And
oh.
so I would take driving lessons, always took the back roads and everything, and got my driver's license and said, you know what, I just need to break this fear. So a friend of mine from church had a car, a Toyota Camry. Was said, I'm gonna donate this car. I said, oh, why don't you sell it to me? Okay, $700. I kept the car in my driveway for the longest time. I wouldn't drive it,
Even though
and
you bought the car.
even though I bought the car, I was scared to drive this thing. And I was going out with my wife at the time. She was my girlfriend, and I told her, this is the thing I'm struggling with. Oh, it's okay. We could prior to me getting the car, we could always take the metro. We could take the bus together. We could take a taxi. You don't have to drive. I'm cool with that. And when I bought the car, she was so happy. She was like, "Oh yeah, now you take me out to dinner." I'm like, "Wait a minute. You trust me. You trust your life in my hands." And was that little spark that made me feel okay? Wait, if someone trusts me,
To drive.
I'm gonna start driving, and now I'm like a
Now
speed
you
demon.
Uh,
now you passing by the storage and
You
stuff.
know,
I
so
mean,
you're funny. But
But I want to say
but
something.
I think just listening to what everybody is saying is the fact that there is a value when you think about something. There's a fond memory of them,
mhm, mhm.
either something they've done, something they've said,
Right.
or something they're doing that makes you, when you think about it, you're like, I really respect this person. First of all, I am fond of them. Second of
Mhm,
all, I respect them, right?
mhm.
And that's part of honoring your friendship. and everything. But it brings me back to the question, because I asked that question and we breezed over it, but it still
Go.
brings me back to the why we honor kingdom friendships. And I want to stay on that a little bit because it's something I want us to dwell in. It's one, if you look at why you honor a thing, right, is that you pause to acknowledge a thing, to acknowledge the power of a thing, to acknowledge the value of a thing. But it also, when you now talk about kingdom friendships and honoring it, it's more of who is this person in my life? Why am I honoring this person in my life? And why does this person mean this much to
To
me?
me.
And that's right back to what Inka was saying, to say that when he thought about every other thing, his wife now, who was his girlfriend, was somebody who trusted him enough, but also made him, brought him to a point where he was able to break the fear of
Now,
driving.
not here.
He
But
will
you know,
never forget her. He will honor her in that place. But I want us to take it a little bit further. Why is it important that you now honor, and then you now look at Pastor Gladys and now say, okay, but I really honor this person as my friend. I look at Inka, I honor this person. I'll give you an example. Tommy is here. She's at Joke's corner. Hi, Tommy. And I have two friends called Tommy. And both of them are beautiful, amazing people. And they play different roles in my life. And that's what, when you want to, it's a give honor to whom honor is due, right? But there needs to be something that is due for you to be able to give it to that, give honor to that, right?
Right.
I remember when we started Agape House of Worship South Jersey, and I met Tommy. That was when we actually started becoming close. I mean, some weeks like this, I'll be going stuff, and she would just send me word from God. Like she would send me stuff, and it's as if she was in my bedroom listening to me talk to God.
Mm.
It would wake me up. The same thing with Pastor Gladys here. The same thing, like you guys have done those things. But let me talk about the people that are here. Pastor Gladys would just call me and be like, "Are you okay? Are you good?" Her house is my second home because I can run to her home, and
Right.
there's nobody's disturbing me. She just says, "This is your corner. Rest. Just calm down. Whatever you're going through is a safe corner for me." But
Right.
also, she has provided that space for me to be myself. So when I honor her, which sometimes I don't even think she realizes that I do, when I do certain things, it's not because, oh, she's Pastor Gladys. It's because of who she is to me. The same thing, and Anika is somebody who,
I you're
in
just
fact,
bribing
just
me.
and Anika is somebody who, when we started, she would just bring gifts, give you small gifts.
Yeah.
And I am a gift lover, by the way. I love to give gifts, but I am a gift lover. And it's not about her giving gifts, it was the heart. She just said, "Hey, Peggy, here." And I'm like, "What?" She said, "Here's a small thing for you. Here's a small thing." And then worship, she will call me when she's in conference worship, in as much as she forgets to tell me before she goes so that I can go with her. She'll call me when she's there and she'll be like, "Baby, I need to show you this video." Or
I
sometimes she'll
know.
just say, "Hey, I love you." Or there's certain things she has done in certain times where she did it without even knowing. And I'm like, she does not realize her place in my heart. People don't understand where you place them in their heart until you show them.
Yeah.
And us talking about things here now is me honoring both of you. Yinka, amazing person. He will come and say, "Peggy, calm down. Let's make it simple. Let's
I
make it let's make it simple. Sorry, please." And the honor I have for him is, it reminds me of humility in
know.
every situation ramification. He's one of the most humble people. Of course, we have
Right.
PG. He's one of the
Right.
most humble people. I'm gonna put him out there. He drives like on
You
one day
guys
he
are
started,
so
and I'm like, "Yo," he was like, "Let's go." That's just me. That's a joke. But
right.
I know where he is. I know his family. I've had insights into everybody here, and the humility and the openness and the freedom and the space, the safety they provide makes me honor them, because they don't know what it means to me. And they might not even understand what it means until I tell them. And when I tell them, it makes them realize that, okay, if I'm doing this thing and it's having this effect, then I can do more of it because then it will have more effect on people, right? So the reason why we honor, I think is important, I honor my friendships, is to make them understand the level of impact they're having in my life, the level of and their roles in my life, because some people don't even understand it. I have Tommy Ajoke's corner here. I have Tommy. I think both of them, they're two different colors. So I'll Tommy
I
fair,
totally
Tommy
like,
chocolate.
yeah.
Tommy like, Tommy
Yeah.
chocolate. These two people play a key role in my life, and apart from every other person. But I know in specific times where and they'll just send a word. Recently, going through stuff, Tommy just called me, Tommy Fair, and she called me, and I know the things she was saying. And after she said it, it's like I woke up from the battle I was having with God about something that I didn't want to. And she said those words to me. And so when I sat down and I looked back at it, if I had taken her for granted, if I did not realize the power that she carries, her giftings, right? Her the resources God has put on her and the role it played in my life, then I would not honor it. I would not respect it. So maybe I'm preaching, but let me bring it back so that I want us to kind of think about these things as we talk about honor and what it means to us, really. Because I think sometimes we take our friendships for granted so much that we do not realize that the next person might be God sent. And yes, Annika, go ahead and say what you want to say. I know
No,
you've
I
been
want
wanting to say
to
something.
say, I want to also use Yinka's, for example, for what he said. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but you
Mhm.
see how that friendship started out, and now it's a marriage, of course. But
Yeah.
friends, kingdom friends, they bring out the best in you.
Right.
And I just feel like even they could be going through something too. It's like
Mhm.
they'll call you and check on you. Their world can be upside down, but
But
they
they,
can still check on you, still want to partner in prayer with you, still want to know if you're good, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter, or they'll text you, I haven't heard from you and I don't know what's going on. Why haven't I heard from you, right,
right.
Peggy? I'm not going to say it's Peggy, but right?
We know it's lady. Go for it.
when they don't hear from you, it's those things that accepting me for who I am. I don't have to, like, I'm the same wherever
Right. Right.
I don't have to like be a certain way. And I like when I'm talking to Pastor Gladys about different things, and she'll be like, "No, right? No." Like even if somebody has like wronged me in a way, and she'll be like, "Well, I haven't heard you upset like that in a long time."
Long time.
Okay, look at it this way,
Mhm.
because sometimes you can only when you're upset, because like we are all human, right?
Right.
I can be upset and I'm going to just see it from my perspective. But
Mhm.
now I have somebody who's now going to tell me, hey, sis, bring it in. It's almost like, MK, like Pastor Kimmy, right? She's like,
Right. It's not that deep.
right, right. Look at it this way. Because instead of me looking at the bottle half empty, look, it's halfway full. And
Mhm.
somebody also being able to help me have understanding, that
Mhm.
helps me grow. It helps me
Mhm.
develop. It may also help them as well. But it's right there in that instance where I can make a wrong choice. They help me to make the right choice and have
Mhm.
understanding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think also why is because of, like Peggy was saying, it's because of the positive impact it has on my life, right? Those friendships push me more towards God. Those friendships push me towards knowing, wanting to know more of God. Like it doesn't matter what the situation is. The first, I have a friend, the first thing she says is, "What did you pray?"
Mm.
And when I'm asking that question, there's, "Why are you asking me? You want to put me in trouble? Did you ask God? What did God say? What did the Holy Spirit say?" Like they redirect your focus, right? Even when you are so aggravated, they're able to
Calm you.
bring down, right, even if I can get to the point of I know Peggy, I think, and Nikki, there was one, I was so, about the Bow concert. I was so upset, practically shaking. And the thing was, it took my entire being. It tried to disturb my destiny for like a few days. And I was so upset. I remember both of them saying, okay, breathe. I think Nikki first said, okay, breathe.
Breathe. Breathe. That's our word.
Breathe. Okay, now tell me what happened. And in my head, I'm thinking, wait, but I just told you everything that happened. But then I realized I stumbled, right? I said everything that happened in anger, that I didn't wait to even listen to what I was saying. And then because of that, okay, let's calm down. As I explained the situation, I found myself even making excuses for the person who had offended me. That is what a kingdom friend does. They don't watch you drive off the cliff.
Can I add to what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think the importance of having a Christian or kingdom friendship is, like, in that situation, you tell the wrong homegirl, she's going, girl,
Good
let's go. Take off the earrings, you know what I mean?
fighting.
Get the Vaseline,
Yes.
you know, and then before you know it, you're locked up somewhere. You know, kingdom friendships are able to take you in a destination because you're not always going to be on 100%. There's sometimes that something's going to happen where you forget the Bible, you forget the fact that you're a Christian, but someone can say, hey, remember
Go back.
this, remember, you know what I mean? Someone can calm you down. And that's the importance of having a Christian friend.
But did you know that actually happens even in, and I don't know if we can all, not only in the church.
Outside.
Nope. Nope.
It
Nope.
can happen anywhere.
I know someone who went through that. So it's a clique of friends, maybe 10, 8, and of course, always the ladies. And she had a problem with one, and it turned to 1 to 7, 7 against 1.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, so there was nobody spiritually mature enough to say, okay, wait, why are 7 people, why are you freezing that one person? She has an issue with our friend. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because sometimes
you know,
yeah.
Christian friends will give you advice that it with substance. You know, if
Yeah.
someone
The
tells you
right
something,
friends.
the right
The
Christian
right-
friend, you're right.
I'm gonna
And
say,
if they use the word, someone gives you the word that says, hey, you know, the Bible says blah blah blah, as opposed to someone who is not God centered. For example, you know, if you're a couple going through marital issues, the counsel you get from someone will be, oh, why don't you you guys do a wife swap? You know, you know what I mean? To them, it's like, oh, this is
God
works
knows.
70% of the time for my clients. But you know, it's not the right advice. You see what I'm saying? So it's always important to have Christian friends that will steer you in the right direction.
but I want to also
word
add
of God.
on, since Jinka brought up, I'm not talking about wife swap, but I want to say this. I want us to address cliques, right? Because you know there are cliques that are also in the house of God, unfortunately. However, we have to make sure, except for in Agape House of Worship, South Jersey, let me make sure I say that. But I want to make sure that we understand that if you may say that you're not a clique, and this is when you know that you're a clique, when you don't invite anybody but those people that you're always with, right? So I'm going to educate you to people like, we're not a clique, we're just tight, okay? If nobody else can come and it's just you and them, that is a clique, right?
Nobody's at your table but those people.
That's a clique. And it can be offensive to others. So you want to be careful about that. Remember, everything that we do is in love. And so if that person is also the person with the T all the time, right?
Mm.
They bring in the tea, and then you notice they took that tea, and then they took another tea and a tea, and they come back. And they don't remember what they say. You have to be cautious about that too, right?
Yeah. So
Oh,
Yeah.
let me look at it from another perspective. So personally, I don't think there's. Let me rephrase this. So oftentimes there's a negative connotation about clicks.
For clicks. Mm-hmm.
Having a clique is not necessarily a bad thing, but at what you said about if no one else can come in, then
Aha.
that's when it's a bad thing. Because even Jesus had people,
He
disciples
had
that he
his
was
clique.
closer to.
He had a squad. Hold
maybe
up.
that, maybe it happens more with women than it does with men.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
They
no,
had
no. I think when we use the word clique, let's call it circle of
Okay,
friends
yeah, yeah, I like that circle. So
because
yeah, so
cliques have negative connotation. But let's
you're
call it
right.
our circle of friends.
Yeah, you always
you know,
have your
So you
circle,
can
and
let's
then
use the word.
yeah, you're right because when you say something like you're honoring someone, you're honoring that person because that person has done something good to you or there's value, and it's not something that everybody else, the general public, does. And so,
Right.
you know what I mean, give honor to whom honor is due, which means that there are some that you don't give honor to, right? And those who
But it
you
doesn't
give
mean you
honor
don't
to,
respect them, right?
huh?
It doesn't mean you don't respect them.
No, it doesn't mean you don't respect them. Yes, right. It doesn't mean you don't respect them. But I think that in life, you're always going to have circles. You're always going to have people that are your ride or
Your
die. You're going to have people that are closer to
but
you.
that's a little bit different, right? That's a
Mhm.
different level of friendship. What I'm specifically speaking about is people being in this circle, and it's only this circle, and they are very stringent, and they don't want to invite anyone
Oh,
in,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we just have to understand that if you are a part of that, or if you're doing that, one, it could be hurtful to other people.
Very.
So we
Mhm.
want to make
Mhm.
sure as Christians, right, that we represent God by showing his love. And
Mhm.
it's okay. I mean, everybody has a different level of friendships. Everybody's not meant to dine with you.
Mhm.
Okay. Some people,
Mhm.
they got to eat out at the restaurant and not at the house. So, you
Yeah.
just have
Cheesecake Factory.
you just there's different levels. I remember Pastor G Day, he preached about different levels, right? There's some friends that know everything, your finances and all kind of different things like that, and there's different levels, right? That's when we change it to maybe associates, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
Associates at work, you say hello, how are you? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like your associates, right? So uh, I think that we just have to remember that, and everything that we do, we have to show love. That's why we're all here today, because
Yeah.
we all show love to one another. We all respect
Mhm.
one another in
Mhm.
friendship, and we all honor one another, right? So
Mhm.
Yes.
like I know I can go to Yinka House and get good food, right?
Oh yeah. We wasn't no food, man. Mhm.
So as we kind of bring
Bring it
this
down.
down on well, yeah, round it up, kingdom friendships. How can we now, knowing what honor is all about, knowing what we've talked about, how are the different ways that what are the different ways and how can we now begin to honor our friendships, our kingdom friendships? And of course, it doesn't just apply to kingdom friendships. We do it at work. We do it for
Right.
people, our
Yeah.
associates or our
Mhm.
colleagues. But I think the focus right now is in-house, like as believers, how do we honor our friendships within
So
the living community? Yes.
I would say, and I think it's different between guys and girls. Like
Mhm.
I think
Hmm.
the way some one way, major way you could honor friendship is love. So
Mm.
there's the scripture that says love is patient, love is kind. It goes through a whole laundry list of things. You're not keeping score. It's not boastful. So that is kind of the guideline for honoring people. And then I think also having boundaries,
Mhm.
Mhm.
respecting your
Mm.
friends' boundaries. So I wouldn't say, hey, let's go hang out if I know that that's your friend's um family time with the wife or something like that, or coming over when it's something for the family, intruding on them, or using taking advantage of your friend's kindness. So, oh yeah,
Mm,
I need someone to help me move. I need, just always being the person that takes, and you're
Mhm.
not the,
Mm, mm.
given as well. So I think that how you honor your friends tells a great deal of your spiritual level too, as
Right,
well.
mhm,
right. What about boundaries?
I think that we should set boundaries
Hmm.
in our friendships. Well, we don't have a lot of time today, but boundaries should be set with children, even in your marriage, with friendships, co-workers.
mhm,
Boundaries should be set in every level because we don't want to cross boundaries. It could be disrespectful, and
mhm,
we should respect one another boundaries. Once you go over them with that individual, they should respect them, and if they have questions about it, when you're going over it, then you should be able to explain to them so they can have a better understanding. As long as
mhm,
they're not being disrespectful when they ask, but they may just say,
What?
okay, we used to do it like this, and how come? What changed? Maybe you can explain to them what changed.
I can
You
give
know,
you
I
an
was,
example.
I
Let me
was,
give you an example because
sorry.
my most of my friends, I have more female friends than guy friends. I don't know what it
Oh,
is.
there got to be
I,
boundaries on those
I
tricky.
exactly. So I relate more to females than
Mhm.
guys for some reason. I don't know what it is, and there's no ulterior motive. Maybe because I'm a sensitive person. I just don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I've always had. At one point, my best friend was always a girl, or and it was never anything of
mhm.
We
you
get
know. And so, like at one point, when my very close friend, got married, I limited phone calls and stuff like that. Boundaries practical boundaries you could set is like, okay, after a certain time in the evening, you don't call or text them because your
Mhm.
defense mechanisms are weaker, and then
Right.
you can start to cross
Mhm.
boundaries. And if my wife or girlfriend says, "Hey, I don't like you spending time with this person," you stop immediately, no questions asked. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So those are the type of things. And then also there's boundaries with relatives. You have
Right.
that mother-in-law, father-in-law that's like
Mhm.
maybe being intrusive in your marriage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so there are boundaries that you have to kind of set and respect.
Mm,
I like
love that.
that.
So
Yeah.
honoring boundaries. I think it's understanding what are the boundaries that your friends have, what are the different
Mhm.
boundaries. And there are some very silent boundaries that people have. They don't say it, but they show it. So also
Mm,
being intentional with your friends, very
Intentional.
intentional with
Yeah.
your friends, because you
Mhm.
have friends who are very audible, like vocal. They would
Right.
say what they want. You have people who don't know how to, because they don't probably want to come off as, oh, offensive to you or something and something. So I think for me, one of the ways I have honored my kingdom friendships is really to understand the personalities of these human beings that are around me,
Mhm. Mhm.
understand their strength, understand their weaknesses,
Mhm.
so that I can show grace when
Right.
needed.
Right.
I can show grace when needed. One of my friends, she's going to laugh. At some point, she just disappeared from the face of the earth. I needed her so much, and she wasn't available. And I remember talking to you, PG. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm
Right.
done. The friendship is over. I'm not doing anymore, because I was really hurt. But when I understood where she was at the
Mhm.
time that she was at in that level, and it's still
Right.
currently going on, there's a deeper understanding of what it is, where she is now, then I'm able to honor her and respect her, but still know
Mhm.
she's still my friend. Like
Right.
when we talk about different seasons in friendships, that's
Yeah. Yes.
understanding honor.
Absolutely.
You will have to understand the different seasons of your friendship to be able to honor that person and continue to
Mhm.
respect that person, continue to show love to that
Mhm.
person. Another
Mhm.
way is Just find out. Let's talk about the physical. Find out what they like. You
Right.
know, find out if you like myself. Pastor Gladys knows that I'll just put something. I say, hey, PJ, I have something for you today.
Just
And
bring.
she just what she likes, but I just know she'll be like, oh, what is it? What is it? What is it? I don't want to know this. I'll be like, okay, don't worry, I'll surprise you. I've never done that for Yinka. Well, but but the two ladies here, every now and then there's something,
What do
and they
you
do
give
the
a guy
same.
who has everything?
Say that again.
What do you give a guy who has everything?
Prayer,
No, I don't have very. I need that money.
love,
It
love.
can never be enough money.
And can I also tell you, people who look like they have everything or who have everything
They
still
need.
appreciate
Yeah,
when somebody takes time to really give them something. So
right.
understanding, first of all, I know my different friends, they are different love languages. I'm
Mhm.
really understanding.
Yeah.
I haven't taken time to look at PG and Anike's own just because I'm like, which love language? I love you people. You should go each other. But
Okay, wait. You
I'm
think
not your
you
husband. I'm not your husband. You should go figure it out yourself. But but my friend, like Tommy and the rest of, I kind of know their love language and I'm studying, just trying to understand how best they like to be fed when it comes to love. That's how I honor my friendships, right?
Yeah.
And my friends know that as well. About me, like, okay, what's your stuff? What's your stuff? Like, I remember one time I was moving. I think it was Tommy. She came and she helped me move. Acts of service is a love language of mine because I will do the same as long as I have time. I will come and do
Mhm.
it for you.
Yeah.
So that someone is doing it for me is really beautiful, right?
Right.
And then I remember one time when I love to move, and when I moved again, she was like, "I can't be here," but did what do you call it, housewarming for me, blah 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 blah, and it was just so beautiful because it was like you're actually thinking about me,
Right.
right? So I just want to say I will also call out Precious. I read something on, I don't know if it was what's her name,
Tochi.
Precious
So
Tochi's
Tochi's
Tochi,
birthday.
yes, Tochi was talking about their friendship,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
Precious left a love note for her to say, "Hey, I know you work late, blah blah blah. I left you coffee on the table, blah blah blah." And when I read it, it was like, "Oh, this is friendship. This is honor in friendship. When you're in the same space, how
Right.
do you make the other person okay?" So I think for me, that's how I honor my kingdom friendship. I'm gonna do more of that now as I
Mhm.
continually observe people and learn more about them. But I think there's a call for us to
Right.
now start looking at these things and start doing it. So who else wants to talk before we
I
kind
think
of
there's
round
some
up?
I think there's some friendships that you see and it's evident that these people honor themselves. And because I am an insider to Tochi and Precious, I
Mhm.
know what it is. They both love. Tochi is like big sister to Precious, and so there's that protection there. There's and I'm always teasing both of them. But I see it. Another one that I love to see, that I love to talk about is Fumi and Nife.
yes, this one's
And a lot of it, I think, is also because they have walked together through seasons of pain, seasons of, and this were the people that were there, they were standing. It wasn't like everybody else wasn't standing, but there's a particular person that was standing, and that was them. Why in the kingdom friendship sometimes is you show up and you stay. You showed up and you stayed, despite what you were going through, right? They were going through, they showed up and they stayed. They kept you steady. Because if they were not there, you would have crumbled. Things would
Mhm.
have gone, I mean, things would have really gone bad. But one thing I want to say about my kingdom friendships is I've learned to just extend grace. It's like a blanket, right? I've learned to just extend grace because I know that they have been for me. They have stood for me. There are people, if I call their number at 2 a.m., they will pick up the phone. And they just need to hear me say, they'll drive to my house at 2 a.m.
and
So we
people need
need,
to know you live far. How about that?
but
They need to know that you live very far.
it doesn't matter. Distance is not for them. They will pick up and they will come to my house. If I pick up the phone and I don't say anything, they're showing up in my house. Like, what were you just breathing? What's wrong? Are you okay? They're getting up.
Mm,
Okay,
Babe.
there's
mm.
babe. That's a babe. Right? And I
Did
love
you
that.
do that for
I,
me too?
I'll do that for everybody here, because
I know
that
you
is
are.
where we are, right? That is where we are. We have arrived there, right? I remember you guys totally going through something really, and thank God, right, that we were able to stand with them, because otherwise, I don't know. But that's how kingdom friendship. That's how it starts and it ends. And
Mhm.
for it to survive, you have to show up. You have to be intentional. You have to be. But it's not on the surface. It's not until, and people could see it. That's what I love. Also, people should see it. I love that somebody every time we show up, I show up somewhere, or Pastor Babe shows up somewhere, or PK, the other PK shows up somewhere. They're asking for where are your where are your people? Where are your where's your gang? Right? Because people have seen it, and they didn't just see, oh, they're church friends. They've seen the something happens, everybody is like, okay, what's going on? Let's go. Let's go. It's visible. It's not hidden. You can't hide authentic Christian kingdom friendships. Because another thing is being able to it's not like you are defending but but you can speak to their character. I remember somebody, right, somebody was saying, they walked up to me and they said something about one of my friends, and I said, are you sure? But there was a up in arms, like, what do you mean you were not there, blah blah. So I said, okay, I just want to tell you, I know her. But if you are so upset about this, I will get her here right now, and let's fix this thing, because I don't want you to go away hurt. I don't want you to go away. And that's what I did. I called her over and I said, okay, this is what happened. It was something totally done harmlessly. She didn't think that that was something that that person even noticed, but because I stepped in and we fixed it right there, it wasn't something that, oh, they couldn't make church the next Sunday, so now this thing has festered. Now this thing has now festered, and now other people have heard about it. The tea is going, right. The tea is going everywhere now. So that's what Christian kingdom friendships are about. If there's something you know is going to put a stain on your friend, you fix it right there. It's not, oh, that's how she is. Maybe she was in an off. I've heard, or maybe she was in an off mood. No. Don't be doing that. Get on the phone. This is what happened. What's going on?
So
And
more
if
so
you not exactly,
defend.
and if you a calling out right there and then you do the calling out right there and then. My people, some people, sometimes it's not the calling out that is verbal. Sometimes it is eye rolling. Is that like a eye, like a, are you okay?
So more so accountability, right? Holding your friends accountable.
Right.
That's how you
It's a look. Sometimes I'll give her Ananike, I'll give her a look like sis. And sometimes she'll give me a look. That look that you just made now, Peggy, that's your own look for my call out. And she'll do PG.
Fiji.
She doesn't have to say anything. I need to check myself. And Pastor
And
Babe, that
same
one,
here.
Pastor Babe just says,
Yep, that's her look.
Yinka's memo is he'll say, can we just,
you guys just breathes and goes quiet for a bit. Like, okay, so you know,
and then
okay,
you say,
reel it in, bring it down, be coming down.
and then you turn his head and he'll say, okay, I
Okay.
just need to breathe. I just need to breathe. So I think it's understanding everybody's strength and how they reach your team. Yes, understanding all our strength, because look, I can talk about and each of every one of us here and really honor our person, but I really want to encourage all of us and those who are joining us online is, you know, take some time to look into your friendships,
Right.
in as a believer, and honor them. Tell If you've never told your friend, look, I appreciate you for what you have done so and so time. Maybe you didn't know. So it's not only on wedding day that they used to, because it's on their wedding day. You come and hear, oh, this happened 20 years ago. I'm like, why are they just hearing it 20 years ago? Why didn't they, you know? I think the more we do that, the more you call out the best in them, because then they know that, oh, I'm actually having this great positive impact on my friends. So um to round this up, one is it 1 second or 2 second, 3 seconds? Like, what are some of, no, I won't say last words because we're not dying, but a word you would leave with our community when it comes to overall kingdom friendship? What's that one thing you want to leave them with? I don't know. I don't want to put a limit on it, but something that you've taken from this conversation for the past 1 month for you, cause, and something you feel like, now I'm gonna start doing this, or something that you've been doing and you want to encourage people to start to continue to do it.
Well, I would say this, just have a genuine desire to continue to look out for one another,
Mhm.
for their well being,
Mhm.
for even them to get closer to God by the
Mhm.
decisions that they make,
Mhm.
and just using love and everything. I do want to shout somebody out. Like today, it was very busy. This week was very busy. And Fumbi, Tomi's husband, he was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to put too much on you because you've done a lot. And I just want you to be able to suck in the worship or whatever you want to do. He took his time many times and it's like, I want you to be good.
Mhm.
So in that moment, he wanted to make sure that I was good. Even
Good.
though I want to make sure everything is good. So I
Mhm.
think that just that genuine, true love and support
Right.
and encouragement is really amazing in kingdom friendship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mr.
Parika.
Yin.
Just
Yeah,
told
I
you,
mean,
Parika, he was gonna.
no, I second that. I think that's what I was gonna say too. Love. I think what's the Bible verse? The perfect love casted out all. I forget
Is it
the
evil?
scripture now. Yeah, but it's honestly when you love someone, even though it's hard to do, even in difficult times, the way you treat the person is going to be different when you come to someone from a place of love. And I think it's easier to honor friendships when you just love the person, and with an agape love, not
Mhm,
you're not expecting anything in return from it. It's
mhm,
unconditional, and just seeing everyone as a child of God. It's not
Mhm.
easy to do, but if you set your mind to that, then I think it helps. I remember recently, a friend of mine had someone at work who basically went to report the person to an executive, and was like,
mhm,
oh, this person is basically lied on the person. And now you have to meet with that person in meetings, and you're like, I really want to tell you off. And I, I just said, hey, just think about, talk to the person from a place of love. Go have lunch with the person, have, your conversations, and maybe that person will even become your ally. So I think, then to answer your question about something that I picked up from here is what Peggy said about value,
Mhm.
the value in someone. So I think going forward, I'm going to be more intentional about honoring
Yeah.
friendships. Sometimes you take these things for granted. Oh, they're
Right.
always going to be
Hello.
here.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, I moved from, one state to another state. People probably would have thought, oh, this person's always going to be here. I'm not there now.
Mhm.
And the same could happen to any one of you guys. And maybe you take a job somewhere else. So honor the person while the person is still
It's
around.
here. I think for me, one of the things about kingdom friendships, like I have friends that have moved away that I'm still friends with till today, and we still talk. When we talk, it's like we spoke last night.
Mm,
Like it's like the conversation continues from where we left off, and we don't live in the same the same state. Some of them are actually back in Nigeria, but it's there. So again, like I think for me today, what resonates is the value part because I think there's a lot of C finish, so I'm gonna have to unlearn.
Taken for granted. See finish.
I
Taken
don't
for
take for granted anymore. I want to be more intentional with my friendships, but at the same time now it's love. What was uh, Bishop Cersei saying about love pushes to action? Oh my God, I forgot. I forget what he said. He mentioned he only talked about agape love today. That it
Let's read our
doesn't
notes.
require, right? It doesn't
Let's read
require.
our notes.
Where is it? Do you have your note with you? Where's my note? Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Like it pushes you to act. It will bring you to act. My note isn't here.
Which
Then it makes you right. It prompts you to act, but it doesn't really require any you to do anything, but it will propel you, compel you to into action, something like that. So
Mhm.
it's just to be intentional about loving them, right? And part of loving them is always praying for them, right? Because they
Mhm.
different things are going through, and the reason why, again, like I think I am able to, yeah, Peggy, for example, you're able to get Tommy sending you something that you need then and there, right? That made it sound like feel like she was in the bedroom with you when you were having a conversation with God and she's giving you that answer. It's because she's praying for you. And I
Yeah.
find that when we're praying for people, God is able to talk to us about those people and we can share. There's sometimes I would just say, Peggy, I feel like this is what I'm hearing for you, right? There are sometimes I think some of the Tuesday what we'll be praying and I'll hear something for Yinka and I'll be like, Yinka, I feel like this is what I'm hearing for you. But it's because we're praying for each other. So I think prayer has to be
Mm.
a serious part of any kingdom friendships. I love, for me, I love when I say something like I text Ananke something, I'm feeling this way and I don't want to talk, and she types. This girl will type the prayer that I can go back to it.
Yes.
If I'm feeling a certain way, I can go back and read those prayers and feel okay. So I
Mhm.
think prayer is something I'm gonna do more, even invest more time in because I've seen it work and
Mhm.
extend grace because
Yeah. I
through
think that
stuff.
same thing that applies to me. Pray for my friends more. Understand their love language and how I can show them that love. Action, take action and steps. But this has been a great conversation, and I want to thank you, Yinka and Kaz and Anika. It's been beautiful. It's been such a beautiful month of just talking about kingdom friendship because this is what is here. Some of us met ourselves this year. Some of us have known ourselves from a distance, and this year our community has brought us together. Church has brought us together, and I think we're all each growing in our kingdom friendship and the different dynamics of that. So it's really beautiful for us to be able to talk about the benefit of kingdom friendship, how to sustain our kingdom friendship, and now how to honor those kingdom friendships so that we can continue to speak life in it. And I really pray that our audience, those who have joined us or those who are going to be listening to this, that you are able to take something out of this, right? And
Yeah.
it spurs a thought of action in you. I love what Yinka said, now I'm going to be more intentional. Pastor Gladys said, now I'm going to pray more. And Yinka said, I'm going to love more. And above all things is love, because when you love, then you're able to give grace, even when grace is not deserved. But God has given us that grace, so we should give to everyone. So, guys, thank you for joining us. We love you. We appreciate you. Um, Dinka has his network, and we didn't put it there, but I have a feeling somehow we might be able to kind of put their links in different places. Like, these are powerful people out there who are influencing the world in their different spaces, and you can, if you want to connect with them, just kind of reach out to Nika, Brainka, connect to them, talk to them. I think we're going to put their information somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you an expo. You're looking for some sort of job in the security world. There's an expert here. Community outreach. You want to reach. You in fact you want to reach the whole community and bring them together. You want to talk to
Yeah.
her here. She has the governor in her pocket. I'm just telling you, it's then you wanna learn so much about the word of God. Pastor Gladys is there, and you just want to learn about worship and HR. Just connect with us, whatever it be. It doesn't just have to be that you're praying, but if it's work wise, you're
Yeah.
navigating the workplace, the marketplace as a believer. You can reach out to any of us here because we are all experts in our field and we're still growing. And
Yeah.
the goal is that we will continue to show you how to live a God-centered life, even in the marketplaces. So, guys, thank you for joining us. We love you. We appreciate you. We honor you. And so, have a great day, everyone. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Have a blessed week and see you.
Thanks. We
Good
love
night.
you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.